It's our birthday.
It
It's our anniversary. Bon anniversaire.
Okay.
I'm doing French on Duolingo now as well.
Are you really?
Nah.
Because you nailed Spanish.
Hey, mate, I'm nearly 200 days into that fucking hot
Not
streak.
relevant. Let's stick to what's important, all right?
This is a very special episode of Spread Negativity. That's why we're both sat on the same fucking side of the desk. Because we've got big things to announce for this episode. Celebrating.
Something comes over you when we do this.
I know, it's weird.
Something comes out and you just like, you don't say these words often.
It's like not like what we usually do. We usually sat opposite each other, looking into each other's eyes. But I'm speaking to you. That's right, you at home, dear listener.
It's awful.
Whether it's through the camera or in your ears, you're hearing Daddy come through loud and clear.
God.
Happy birthday to us. We wanted to celebrate our first birthday by doing a different episode.
This wasn't how we planned to start it. But
There's no plan. As you know, you've been watching. We hope for a year. And if you haven't, this is the perfect jumping on point because we've put together the best bits from the last year. A compilation, if you will. This is me handing the reins to you.
What are you doing?
Passing the torch, lad.
If I let him speak for long enough, it gets weird. I've noticed that. Like, if I just do it, I'll just get to the end.
Yeah.
And then, I'll pause and then you'll jump in. If I don't take the reins off you, it just gets...
I'm running the relay. I'm running the relay. If you're not going to take the stick off me, I've got to keep running.
But you didn't hand me the stick. You just made it sexual. You tried to fuck the stick before you give it me. We've made a compilation of what we believe to be the funniest and best moments of the pod. Bits that we've really enjoyed, the things that have made us like cry laughing, the things that we completely forgotten about that we didn't remember. And we just wanted to put them out as a bit of a special, just to sort of commemorate the year. We've had loads of fun doing it. We can't thank each and every listener enough for the support. Like, you're
the best. We the best. Oh, that's DJ Khaled, sorry. But we're happy. No, we're happy. We're having a good time. We're enjoying doing the pod. We hope you enjoy listening as much as we enjoy making it.
We started doing this intro.
I'm doing weird shit with my hands on the desk. I'm talking to you, baby, directly in your ear. Big plans for year 2. Year 1's gonna look shit once year 2's done.
We do hope you enjoy the recap of it, though. Thanks again. We love you. Let's just get into it.
So yeah, we got there late. We went for a few hours, and I was just I don't know. I got to a point where I'm a fucking old man. I was like, mate, I want to get off. And I had a gig driven from Blackpool, and had to drive back to Manchester.
Just a fucking hero. You know what I mean? Picked
you
you up.
Yeah, and then me up. He was me taxi.
Before you go any further, tell me if this is a cunt trick. Right?
Okay.
We did the pod last week. Adam said, "Oh, I'll put your name down if you want to come to the after party from the arena show." We were like, "Yeah, sound." And I said to Liam, "I was like, well, obviously I'm going to be driving from Blackpool, so I can't drink anyway. But if you want, I'll pick you up so you can have a drink." He's like, yeah, sound.
It's a very nice thing to do.
I drove 15, 20 minutes out my way to go and pick him up. Took us both.
Technically, that's 30 to 40 minutes out your way, because you've got to drop him off again afterwards.
Exactly. And then I've drove us both to where the after party was.
Okay.
And he had 2 drinks. Is he a dickhead?
They were £5.50 a pint, lad.
I think
he was still under the legal drinking limit and could have drove himself, and we could have met each other.
That's probably an average price for a pint these days. I'm looking about a £5 a pint.
It is, but you've got to bear in mind, back in my day, when I started,
how old are you?
Because
you can't be any older than
31.
Yeah.
Nah, he's at least mid-40s if you ask some listeners.
I'm an old head, though. I'm an old soul. I begrudge paying that much.
I don't know. I think if someone's driven me specifically so I can have a drink, I'm gonna need.
If you don't do shots, I've got beef.
If you don't do shots, you get a taxi.
I want you to be asleep in the car on the journey home with the little aircon on, because I've got out of my way here, and I'm gonna have beef with you.
I've genuinely got to that level of like boring cunt where.
Okay, but tell me that last Monday, and then I won't pick you up.
I had shit to do the next day. Does it not put you off if you've got shit to do the next day?
No.
Plus,
that's the next day.
I had my wife, fucking fucked up there, didn't I?
His side chick.
Me mistresses.
Got this beard, I've been shagging for a bit.
I had my wife's Christmas do the night after, and their company were paying for everything. So why am I going to go tender because I've been drinking and paying a shit ton the night before when I'm having a free night
Hair
out
of the dog?
as much as I
what
can
are you
drink.
talking about?
Hair of the dog's a myth.
It's bullshit,
it doesn't work.
And it's a knock-on effect. So Sunday, you're dead. Do you know what I mean?
You've got 2 hangovers then on the Sunday. No, do you know what? Before I did the semantics of the situation, I was thinking, dickhead, but he's got a free night out the next day. Why ruin that?
Hang on, exactly that. I've not got an issue with that. totally understand that, but drive your fucking self. You've not won anything. My beef is that I had to pick you up, and you knew the next night you were going out with a free bar. You knew you weren't going to drink, and was like, yeah, I'll take that lift. No worries. Go fuck yourself.
On the way home. I was a hero on the way home because he was driving through. He was driving down fucking, Rocky Lane to West Derby Road, leads straight to the motorway, done it. I live in Anfield, just off Breck Road.
He's not from there, by the way, Danny.
Oh no, he's from over the water. I know. I'm aware.
Before you want to, skate his path anymore.
Yeah, I smelled that when I walked in.
I was like, drop us off at the Belmont. I'll just walk down. It's a straight run for you. I was a hero. It was fucking...
Hero?
Yeah, I walked
a bit. Heroic?
I walked a bit to save you a good 5 minutes.
50 yards.
I only saved you 5 minutes.
Put yourself in his jeans. That's heroic. You know what I mean?
And we're talking, it's like 2:30 in the morning, right? I get out, it's been dead cold, it's all snowy and shit, but thankfully it's main road, so there's like no snow, I can see it. I'm like, this is going to be sound, this walk. I hit a patch of ice, and like a fucking spider on roller skates was trying to catch myself, both feet slipping, and I landed on my ass in the street.
I don't believe you.
I
feel like you're just trying to make me laugh.
Yeah, I don't think that happened.
I don't think that happened.
I swear down, it happened.
Did it actually?
I've just hurt me back as well. I've been moaning about it on the podcast for ages, so the first thing I thought when I hit the deck...
Absolute blue cat, mate.
Yeah,
the first
blue cat.
I swear down. And when something like that happens, you fall over and you look around, you think, oh, has anyone seen this? It's like fucking 2:30 in the morning. I'm thinking, thank fuck, no one's seen this. I look around, there's like a scal walking towards me.
Oh, he's got witnesses now?
Hood up. Yeah, Bell.
Yeah, we'll get him in.
Call my phone, he's got it. Call my phone, he's got it. No, this scal was like walking towards me, and I just hit the deck, and I was like, oh, fucking hell, is he going to make a comment when I get past? Lad, he didn't even fucking acknowledge me.
That's more embarrassing.
Exactly. Like, I'd have been less embarrassed if he had mugged me. Do you know what I mean? Because then
you'd at least walk past him and all right there, lad.
He didn't say a word to me and walked past me, just overtook me. Ooh. I know, bad.
I don't believe this story.
I swear.
I don't know how you fall over.
I don't know how upsetting is that it actually happened and you don't believe me.
Yeah. So it's,
I think what's happened.
What's worse, falling over or lying about falling over?
The reason I brought up the arena show was to tell you that I'd fallen over, and you started going on hard. I was thinking he's going to fell like a right bellend now when he hears that I fell over because I walked.
I feel like I'm doing a podcast with a liar.
Lad, why would I lie about that? Slipping on the ice.
You're slipping on the ice.
I didn't just slip. I slipped, lad. It was a big one.
I've switched teams.
Okay.
He's a prick.
He is.
I'm a prick.
Yeah, he's a prick.
Do you not believe me either?
I just think it's a little bit convenient.
This is like the house at Beth. It's like Beth's house on Christmas Day.
I'm just trying to cause a ruckus.
That's fine. That's the whole point of the podcast. I can't believe you.
When you fall over in the street, it's one of the most embarrassing things that can happen to you.
Yeah, when it actually does happen.
I had one witness. I could have just not said anything about it. I brought it up on the podcast thinking you go, you dickhead. Now you're calling me a liar, and I didn't have to say shit. I could have just kept it to myself.
Bella witness.
Bella witness.
I can't, lad.
He's got his phone, like you said before. That's convenient, isn't it?
See, I work in car insurance, mate, and whenever we're speaking to a policy holder and the accident wasn't their fault and they've got a witness, we make them take down the witness's details. So in my mind, the first thing he should be doing if he's got a witness to defend his case is taking down at least the contact number.
Mate, I know I'm on the floor right now. I do a shite podcast and my mate's not going to believe me.
Get up.
Hang on, the podcast isn't shite, it's well good.
I'm having a good time.
Yeah, thank you, Daddy. Have some
shite, lad. It's all shite.
Have some faith in yourself. Secondly, why were you still on the floor?
I wasn't.
He's just laid here.
This story's not making sense.
I wasn't.
He's doing snow angels.
I got next morning. There's just a melted patch in the ice. You only got in at 7:30.
Yeah.
I want to know whether people believe me or not. Comment. Because I'm telling the truth. Why would I lie about this? Why would I lie about falling over?
Slip inside the eye of your...
Fuck off, lad.
Just a quick one, just while I'm thinking about it. Watch your feet under there, because the roadcast's under there, and there's every chance that we might turn it off.
Not a problem.
I was like, are we still...
Yeah.
Okay, good.
I
don't believe you, man. I think you're talking absolute shite.
It could be the case. But then all he's got to do is tell you he's telling the truth, and you'll go, okay.
All I'm thinking, right, I don't want to sound horrible, but all I'm thinking is, how long after you left the car did you fall over?
Not long at all.
I would have felt it if it was true.
You would have needed new shock absorbers on the car.
I was actually surprised how little I hurt myself considering I had a bad back, because I slipped that much. I must have slowed down the fall to some degree. Do you know what I mean? So I'm getting lower as I'm slipping, so that it wasn't from fully stood up. But still fucking hurt, lad.
So anyway, Christmas dinner.
Did you just let it happen as soon as you started like, oh well, I'm going there. I bet as well.
No, that's the point I was making. I was fighting it. I was fighting it. It was like that type of
backstroke on me ways of safety.
I was fighting it.
Okay.
Any other questions?
No, not really.
Why are you such a lying cunt? Is my question.
Why would I lie about
Valid
that?
question.
I don't know, but how boring would it have been though if we just went, oh no way, that's a bit mad. Anyway, dinners.
Dinners as well.
Yeah, did you fall
Dinners,
over?
yeah. School dinners.
Did you fall over? Yeah, you didn't. Anyway, as you were saying.
Yeah, just moved on straight away.
I'm all red in the face now.
You're all red.
Trying
to defend yourself.
I'm embarrassed and I look guilty, and that's making me angrier.
What's more embarrassing, the fact that we didn't believe that you fell over, or the fact that you made up the lie that you fell over? And then,
I didn't have to say.
Him saying that is almost an admission of guilt.
I didn't have to say anything about it.
You didn't, which is what makes the lie even more pathetic, really.
Yeah, ran out of things to talk about 15 minutes into the pod.
I don't even think on 20 minutes.
Yeah,
you just
started making up lies.
I fell over once. I thought you'd enjoy.
Not once.
I thought you'd enjoy.
It was a cold, windy night.
It was.
I'd been to the after party of an arena show. Aaron had to Bella's beard to see if he liked his dinner. And here I am on the floor.
Say what?
I was on the guest list, though.
Yeah.
Just about.
by default.
Even better, if you'd have got pissed and had 5 shots, we'd have gone like, oh, fucking hell, he's had a bit too much and he's just fell over. All he did was fall over because of the snow.
Exactly.
Which is even worse.
I was fucking devastated.
Oh, to be fair, though, you didn't actually fall over.
The following night was sick, you know. It was Crown Plaza, which is like the hotel by the Albert Docks. Yeah, fancy.
Someone's doing all right.
Yeah, but it was like
someone's beard's got a good job.
She works in a warehouse. It's not as if I'm getting super defensive. It's a good job, baby. It's a good job.
She'll never amount to anything. The stupid bitch. It's a girlfriend. I'd start calling my wife if she worked for fucking Aldi or something.
You could say anything, and I'd
just not even a floor manager. She's just a box mover.
Hey, she drives a forklift, lad.
Your beard drives a forklift.
Your wife, show some respect.
Do you know if my wife drove a forklift?
That's so your dad.
Batman could not get that information out of me.
The CIA couldn't get that.
Not unless she's actually unemployed.
She's
it sounds like such a slam. Fuck off.
She's going to be fuming at you because you know your reaction that you just had there, right? Imagine that environment where she works. There's delivery drivers coming all the time. She has this.
We're not
she gets this every single day. Do you know where the driver will say, I don't think he's dead smart. Like, I've never seen a girl driving a forklift before. It's a comment she has to deal with day after day.
Weird, even that. It's not the fact that it's a woman driving a forklift.
It sounds like every slam ever, though, doesn't it?
It's just the way. Yeah, it's just
like she picks me up and fucks me. Is that what you're imagining?
She just moves boxes. And he's like, no, she fucking drives the forklift.
Hey, how mad would it be?
She's got a license and everything.
Hey, lad, she does.
Liam, how mad would it be if when you fell, she just came out and just fucking like picked your voice and stuff? Don't worry, love, I'll save you.
I'm fully licensed, fear not.
Yeah,
do us a favour, just kick them Amazon boxes off the forks first. Pick them up on a pallet and everything.
I only got threatened with a knife once, but it was actually warranted. Did you ever like
in the staff room for stealing the bagel?
It was a blunt one. No, it was like my mates like round ours. Like you've met my mates from school. They're my mates from school who I've been mates with for years. I used to knock around with like a different group round ours who were a bit like you know me, fucking loads of mates, innit? They're popular. They were. It was just a little more rough round ours. So one of my mates' big brothers was drinking and he had this beer bottle. We were walking down the street and he was walking with us because we were going in the same direction. We were just chatting. We walked past the house of a family that he didn't like and just unwarranted, absolute arsehole went, they had all goofy. They were a bit like inbred looking. There was rumours that they were all inbred and that, but obviously it's not true. But they were like goofy. I think they weren't all there.
Sounds like you've met more of my family than you think you have.
But they were called the Vampires, that family. Just imaginative name because they had sharp teeth. And I wasn't involved in any of like the picking on them.
Oh no, if they had teeth, then they weren't my family.
I genuinely wasn't though. This is the most annoying thing, and it was like I said, it was warranted because we were walking past the house and the living room window, the light was on. You could see into the living room, and he went, "You fucking vampires took this beer bottle through it," and it went. You know, I'm expecting the bottle to blow up on impact. It went through their window, so the bottle didn't smash. The bottle smashed their living room window, and they came legging it out after us.
And then just died from the sunlight.
But that was the most annoying thing, is being like, I don't like running, having to run away from someone who's shouting.
Yeah.
They were going, "Do you want to meet me mate Stanley?" I assume they meant the knife. I know it's not really imaginative. I doubt they even had
Stanley Yelnats. The no good, dirty, rotten pig stealing great grandmas.
I'm just praising Holes because it's fucking legendary.
Yeah,
and I watched
yeah.
the film recently and it still holds up. Spread negativity
Holes
recommendation
up.
there. Digging out. Dig it. Anyway, yeah, that was the most annoying thing, is having to leg it from someone who wants to physically harm you, but they have every right to, and I played no fucking part in it, lad.
Mm-hmm.
That's my...
Luckily, you always carry a garlic bread, so you don't have any problems.
Don't worry, boys, I've got this. Just hold it to the while everyone's legging it
Just
out,
opening a pizza
smiling.
box. They're like, no.
I shit myself once on the way to work. Oh, this is horrific.
I was just
right?
going to say,
So you
has
were
anyone done it in
sober?
public? Like, is that...
Yeah, this is horrible. This is one of the worst moments in my life. And also best.
And you've had a lot.
I was about 22. Went out went out for Sunday drinking on all day and night, right, on the beat till fucking like 7 or something. I'd work fucking 9 o'clock, and it's my uncle's company. I was always getting in trouble for being late and stuff. So I'm like, fucking drag myself out of bed, get to the bus stop. I had to get 2 buses to work. So I'm texting him like, "Oh, I'm going to be late." Didn't even reply. So, fuck's sake, he's right on one. Didn't even reply to me saying I'm running a bit late.
I hate that passive aggressiveness. Like, my old boss was like that.
He said that as if he didn't like stay out till 7 and
It just
Be
makes
due
me dead
until
fucking
9.
anxious.
So I was waiting for the bus, and I'm like, fucking buses. Just one of those days where, everything that could go wrong was going wrong. Like, the bus was fucking, like, took half an hour to get here, starting every 10 minutes. Fucking get on the bus, get on the second bus. The second bus, I'm like, oh, I'm fucking going here. And it just came out. I've shit myself on the bus. Oh, for fuck's sake.
What were you wearing? Like,
Just like work, that's just jeans.
Yeah.
A guy on the bus stood up and was like, "I've got some spare jeans." And he was like, "Nah, I've done it now."
Yeah. I'll carry on. So I get off the
I'm
bus.
only in goal. It's fine.
Get off the bus, fucking go in the buckies to clean myself up and that.
not to place any bets.
No, I had a bit of a when in Rome.
It's like you shit yourself on purpose just to have an excuse
Didn't you work in a bookies? Was this not at the time?
No, this is after I got sacked. So shit myself, nipped in the buckies, cleaned myself up, fucking finally get to work. I'm about 45 minutes late. Fucking, so I've done all this hassle, got up late, bus was late.
How do you clean yourself up? Sorry, like I'm struggling to.
Just fucking, throw my boxes away and do the best
Did
I
it
could.
not go
Yeah,
through
your standards are very high.
Do the best I could. I mean, I say clean myself up. I was hardly pristine. I weren't making fucking London Fashion Week or anything. Don't get me wrong.
Coachella looks.
Yeah, so it just had one of those days where woke up late, bus was late, second bus I've shit myself on. I've had to go on the bookies. I've lost 20 quid on the roulette machine. Fucking horrific. Get to work. Shutters are down. Ring me boss. Fucking bank holiday Monday, and I didn't even know. Fucking Easter Monday or something.
He didn't reply. He wasn't in bed.
No.
He didn't.
He didn't reply because he was pissing himself. And why didn't you tell me? He went, no. I just thought that's your fucking punishment.
More devastated that you lost 20 quid on the roulette than the fact you had shit in your pants.
Fuck you know.
So it was horrific, but Joe, when you get to work and you're like, I can't get through work, I just get to go home.
The relief.
So there was a bit of a relief.
So you still went home with a smile on your face?
Yeah, so I went home with a smile.
So to sum up,
Smile on my face and shit in my pants.
that's what he was going to say. Like, to sum up, you've got on the bus, took a shit, lost 20 quid in the bookies, and then went home.
Yeah.
That was your day.
And so called it one of the best days of my life. What a fucking day that was.
Oh, fucking hell.
Golden Monday. Golden Monday of 2013.
But yeah, I held the fort for you while you were gone, man. I did Feel Good. I hosted Feel Good,
Yeah.
your stomping ground.
How was that?
I
How'd you
enjoyed
get
it.
on?
I enjoyed it. There was
Feel Goods, for those that don't know, I've run a comedy night. We'll get into that. I run
On or off air?
It might be ran. I run a comedy night in Stockport. It's on every Wednesday, and while I was away, Liam hosted it. That's all the information you need.
I proper enjoyed it, really enjoyed it, but I did something that made me feel really guilty, kind of straight off the bat. There was a guy who was there on his own, and he was just a bit odd. He was a bit odd, and he kind of like did something to bring attention to himself, so I had to address it. And
When
this
you
is
say
what,
did something at Stockport. Was he wanking? Like, I don't know.
yeah, I mean, so he was having a good time. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what I want. People to enjoy themselves.
Smash Stone.
Yeah, no, he was just there with like a hooch, and he was just like had ciggy in his mouth, but not actually lit.
That's the most disgusting thing.
He was
to
just,
ever look at,
he was just.
It is though, isn't it? Like it's so horrible, that, isn't it?
This is why I'm bringing it up, because look at Aaron's face and Aaron's reaction, right? And this is why I also bring up me not hosting much, because I harbour a bit of guilt about this. So I brought attention to him, and I started to like I just went at him, and I was getting laughs, but in my head I'm like, this doesn't feel good for me. I don't want to do. I feel like I'm just attacking the guy on his own. Do you know, like I don't want.
Sounds like you were, to be honest.
Yeah, and I don't want to bring attention to him or, you know, be mean. But it was just coming out, but everyone was liking it. I was getting laughs, I was enjoying it. And then anyway, I introduced the first act. A mate of ours, Harry Stacchini, Harry comes on. And as soon as I sort of, so I get off, Harry gets on. This guy does something else again. He goes to the toilet and he uses the hand dryer, which is dead loud. So when he comes out, Harry has to address it.
Yeah.
And Harry...
We actually usually turn them off.
Do you?
Yeah, because it's so annoying. Like, just use toilet paper or something.
It's the only time it happened,
carry
the
on,
whole night. It's the only time it happened. And Harry addressed it well, and it was funny. Everyone was laughing, dead funny. This guy lost his shit and just went, "Oh, I haven't even done anything wrong. Why is everyone picking on me?" And they're like a kid, and he just like stormed out, right? But I felt like I'd caused that because I had singled him out. And yet he did things himself, but I actually felt that bad. So I went outside and I spoke to him, and I was like, "Listen, mate, we don't mean anything by it. You know, we're just trying to have a laugh. I'm sorry if I've brought attention to you." And
Is this what the black eye is for the audio listener?
No, I genuinely went out and just spoke to him calmly. I was like, "I don't want to upset you. We want to make you like you're more than welcome to come back in. We'll have a good time and that." And he was like, "Thanks, man. I'm just going through a really shit time. I've been, you know, my mum's kicked me out. I've been sleeping on me friend's couch." And you know when someone just overshares, and I was like, I didn't know what else to say, and I was like, "Oh yeah, it's tough that, mate. Anyway, if you want to come back in, you can come back in." And he did, and he enjoyed himself, and he laughed the rest of the night. And when I came back in, Beth came with me because she fucking, when I say I held the fort down, Beth held the fort down. I was the dickhead holding the microphone. I walked in, and I just, as soon as I saw Beth, I was like, "You wouldn't get out and doing that." Just that's the last thing.
I mean, I
you
probably
would do.
wouldn't have picked on the only guy on his own. I'm quite glad you brought this up, actually, mate, because you might have noticed I didn't seem at all surprised when you told me that, because Beth told me what happened, and that chap's left a review.
Fuck off.
For the night.
No, are you messing?
No.
What are the chances of that? Oh, it's not bad. Oh, no.
I'm glad you brought it up because this was going to be. I was going to save this for later in the episode.
I am panicking.
So he left a little review of the comedy night.
And my heart's genuine. Like I'm genuinely panicking here because we're all as comedians, we all seek the approval and validation of a crowd when we do a gig. Whether you want to admit it or not, it's what we're all doing. I'm very much a people pleaser, and I very much don't want to be not liked, and I'm panicking here, lad.
Yeah, so the reason... so I knew about this. Beth told me, because she rang me after the show to just tell me how it went in general. She mentioned this guy and she told me everything you said, and that you went outside and he came back in and he enjoyed it. But then 3 days later, I got a screenshot from the owner of the venue because a 1-star review had been left. Okay. So it's 1 star, right? Yeah. And I'm assuming it's the same guy because he goes... I attended the comedy night on Wednesday, and it gets so aggy, right? I attended the comedy night on Wednesday, and I was on my own due to one of my friends bailing on me last minute.
God, lad, I'm dying here. I'm dying.
I was on my own due to one of my friends bailing on me last minute. I sat at the front, and as soon as the compere, I think he was called the compere anyway, he went up and he just started immediately taking the piss out of me. I didn't appreciate this. I was just trying to mind my own business, but he just really found it funny to pull. He's got terrible fucking grammar. He'll have to excuse me.
Yeah, he did in conversation.
Huh?
He did in conversation.
Yeah. I probably wouldn't make it worse. But he says he just took it upon himself to just pull horrible things out of me, I think is what he's trying to say.
Yeah.
Just rip the piss out of me. It was all fine. I just sort of left it and didn't think anything of it. I then went to the toilet, and then the first act of the night proceeds to do the exact same thing. Because I simply went and washed my hands. And you would think in COVID times that wouldn't be a problem, but apparently to this venue it is.
Now I'm getting annoyed. Now I'm doing a reversal and I want to fight him. There's more to it than that.
Is there?
You bring attention to yourself, you know what I mean? You bring attention to yourself at a night like that. You've got it. Sorry, continue.
I then went outside. I had a bit of a back and forth with the act on stage, and then I went outside. I probably shouldn't have delved into it, but I did. I'm not proud of it, and I went outside to calm down. The compere then came outside to chat to me, and to be fair, he was quite nice, but I did find it really disingenuous that he'd just been taking the piss out of me, and then in front of nobody else was like, oh, it was all just for a laugh. I'm only messing, blah blah blah. It's just really not on. I only went out there to have a laugh. With my friend bailed on me, and I was simply sat on my own. Is it not possible to just go out on your own without having the piss ripped out of you for no reason? One star, will not be back.
Fuck me. Do you know what the snakiest thing about that is, right? Is I've just put it all on Front Street and told you what happened. After that, lad, every single time I saw him, he was laughing along, laughing his head out, kept going to me. Great set, man. After it, and I thought I've done the opposite of what Aaron would do. I've won him back over.
Yeah. It's tough, man.
So I'm not going to be comparing feel goods again then, no?
No, and also the snakiest part about that is I made it up. The reason he had bad grammar is because I couldn't figure out what to say. At no point was this open. Mate, watching you squirm was the best part. That I don't think we're going to top that.
Those 2 weeks in Edinburgh have saved you.
Yeah, I'll tell you a story, right, which I've never told on a podcast before. And this is because I was thinking everyone's got a funny story, haven't they, on podcasts now? And I haven't had any. But I was trying to think of what's an actual funny story that has happened to me in my past that I can tell. And I've came up with one, and this is true. So when me and my mates were about 13, 14, we all stayed in my mate's back garden in a tent, right? Just because it was a novelty to do that.
I've done that before.
Yeah, it's fun, isn't it? Don't know who came up with this idea, right? All I know is that it wasn't me. But there was about 8 of us. And at some point, we all decided to compare our dicks. Right? We all just decided we're going to get our dicks out, get them hard, compare them, see who's got the biggest dick.
them hard.
Yeah, get them hard.
That's odd.
So we're all sat there, and we've all just got our dicks out, and we're all just going away like that.
Sorry to interrupt you. So before when he was like, I don't think you're the problem for getting an erection. When you had him a little massage, I wouldn't trust his judgment anymore.
As you do. You lost me at the hardness.
We were just wanking away, paying attention to our own. We weren't gay. We're not looking at each other. We're just doing that. And then at some point, I decide, right, I need a piss, mate, because I can't get it up. So maybe I need a piss. And if I have a piss, maybe I'll be able to get it up. So
Not the fact you got 7 of them.
Well, yeah, looking back, it's because I've got 7 lads there as well, and it's weird. So I'm like, right, I'm just going to go to the toilet. So I go out the toilet, go and have a piss, and then I come back. And as I'm coming back towards the tent, I suddenly realise that, see, we've got a torch in there so we can see. And
that's so funny.
It's casting our shadows against the sides of the canvas. So if his mum and dad looked out the window at any point, they just see 7 shadows all doing this at the same fucking time.
Hey, though, that's genius, because the shadows are always bigger than you are.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you reckon if they only saw 6 shadows, they'd be worried their son was in the middle of it?
Fucking out of Staunton's a soggy biscuit.
Like, shit, he's lost the bet.
Fucking the drinking games have got really brutal since I were a kid.
Yeah, and I saw this mum the next day, and she was a bit weird. And I was like, fuck. It's bad though, isn't it?
You just did it enter into your head at any moment that it wasn't Or we just carried away?
Yeah. No, I don't know. I can't remember who suggested it, but I don't know. Because I think like when girls are alone together, I reckon they compare boobs.
Yeah, definitely. When I say definitely, I know. I mean, Mrs. has done that with her mates and that.
Yeah, and so I don't know, maybe at the time I was like, oh, maybe this is just a thing that lads do. Yeah, I'll go along with this.
I'm sure she really wouldn't appreciate me putting this on the podcast, but Rebecca told me something that happened when she was younger, when she had a mate staying over. Rebecca discovered the ability to queef. Right. And obviously it was the first time I think she'd ever heard that noise. She was younger and that, and she was just queefing her head off, and
those words have never been used in that order before.
Surely she'd be queefing her clit off.
Not her head off. She's
got a head. She's got a head down there.
She was queefing.
Like Total Recall. The fucking baby.
I'm gonna tell her about this when I get in, and she's gonna go cut it, and I'm gonna go no. she was queefing her head off, and her and her mate were just proper laughing about it and giggling, just being silly, and then she went, "Hey, Dad," she went, "Dad, come see this," and her dad came up the stairs. Came into the room and she just had her fucking legs pointed at the air. She just queefed into the sky, and her dad just went, "Pack it in, girls." Just got off. Didn't even know how to address it. And her dad's dead sound we could talk. I asked him. I'm sure Rebecca brought it up in front of him, and I've asked, "Do you remember that?" And he's like, "No." He's clearly just erased it from.
Imagine her queef was like that Men in Black thing where it just wiped his memory as soon as she went. He just went, "Pack it in."
Who are you? Who are you?
Yeah.
There was a girl, I'm still sad to this day. So my childhood was a bit mad. I've been to 19 schools. It's honestly, I'm not kidding, man. My mum's disabled. We moved around a lot. Yeah, man. It's fucking, I'll get into it properly another time, but it's insane. Which is why I've got no fucking friends. Because how do you have mates when you move around that much?
Explains so much.
Huh?
Explains so much.
Yeah. There's a lot of childhood trauma that has that really does explain the
let's unpack it.
the lack of confidence, the insecurities, the overthinking, the general
constant need for others' approval.
Which I then push onto you. Which I then push onto you. Your jacket's actually not that bad, but the whole time I've just been like, "Look at you in your fat jacket," because I just don't have the confidence myself. It's all unlocking now. But I digress. There was a girl I lived opposite, and she was called Holly, and I don't remember her name, her last name, but she was called Holly, and she was great, right? And I lived right opposite her, and we went to the same school. It was called Red Lane in Bolton. Shout out. It did nothing for me. And partly because I left after about fucking 16 hours of being there. Went into another one, didn't I? But she was called Holly, and she was great. And I was genuinely, I moved around a lot, but I sort of got used to it. But I was in primary school at this point, and that was the one that really, I was gutted, man. I didn't want to leave that school. I really liked it. But
So did you say primary it was?
Yeah. But why let your kids' education get in the way of your own
bullshit?
Yeah. I was properly friend zoned by her, but she lived opposite, and it was one of those where you just used to go and knock on, and you'd just stand at the door and chat for 2 hours. We had a podcast before it was cool.
You were recording it? You fucking weirdo.
All right, I chased women down the street with me fucking rose out. I was really into it, and she had a boyfriend called Jack Nixon. And now Jack Nixon,
sounds cool as fuck.
He's a prick, mate. I hated him, right? He was not good enough for her, and he took her for granted, and I fucking hated him. He wasn't good with it, and I forget this girl's last name, and I wish I knew it, because I'd look her up and be like, "Hey, remember me?" I mean, I've got a girlfriend now. I wouldn't, babe, honest.
Quickest U-turn I've ever seen.
When I was single, I'd have looked her up, I think. Love you. But yeah, man, he was called Jack Nixon. I fucking hated this cunt. He was a proper knobhead. And we all went to the same school. And then one day, mate, they split up. Now, I had this undying love for her, but I daren't tell her because I didn't want to ruin the friendship.
That's the fucking line, that though, innit? That's what you tell yourself. I just don't want to not be
can't
friends
possibly-
anymore.
You can't
I
possibly
care so
ruin it.
much.
Yeah. I would rather not have you and still be friends.
I'm making the sacrifice.
Then lose you as a friend as well.
Yeah,
But yeah, they
man.
broke
That's
up one day.
My fucking life.
They broke up one day. I had an in. Not a good enough in. But I was like, finally.
Were you like dead happy when you found out?
Well,
I'm just so
I
sorry
made-
it's happened. Holly. Were you
I
smiling?
made the mistake of thinking that the only reason we weren't together was because of Jack Nixon. Turns out it was my big forehead and lack of social skills. But
You're literally describing my life here.
so I went into school. I found out they'd broken up over break number 1 of the day, and I was like, "Oh no, damn it, gutted. Oh, fucking, I'm sorry, Jack, to hear that."
You prick.
Yeah. So I went over to her, and obviously, bear in mind, we were in break 1, and you know, as soon as a girl breaks up with a boyfriend, that's the exact right time to go and offer her a new one. Like, oh, you broke up, have
just
you?
come in.
I started running at her like you did. But yeah, she walked in, and I sort of went up to her and was, I'm really sorry to hear about you and Jack. Fucking sucks to hear. Don't know if you've heard, but your boy's single, much like you are. Do you need a new boyfriend? And she, mate, it's fucking
Not. Do you want to go out with me, or do you
well,
need a new boyfriend?
It probably was a. Do you want to go out with me? But yeah, man,
Can we be together?
But she was just sort of like the bold as brass. She just went, "I'll have to think about it," and I was like, what do you mean? What do you mean you'll have to think about it? And she was
I mean,
like,
I don't want to say no to your face.
Yeah. And she was like, I'll have to think about it. And me, with being the fucking cocksure lad that I was, I went, well, you've got till lunchtime. And I walked away. Right?
Giving out deadlines.
Yeah, man. Man's got a word count and everything. So I said to her, I was like, you've got till lunchtime.
I'm not waiting around for no one, not even you, Holly.
Yeah. So I went up to her afterwards at lunchtime, and I was like, the whole time I couldn't even concentrate in maths. I was sat there like fucking putting 2 and 2 together and getting 4, getting us. That's what I was doing, putting 1 and us together. You know what I mean?
2 and 2 together and getting 4's the correct sum.
Yeah, man. It's. I went up to her afterwards in lunchtime, and I went up to her. I was like, obviously, it's been an hour. Have you had more time to think on it? And she goes, no, I think I need more time. And I went, well, I'm not waiting. I refuse to wait. I won't wait for nobody. I'm 9 at this point, by the way.
You knew your worth.
I knew my worth. And I said to her, I was like, well, if you've not got an answer now, then we're never going to be right for each other. Yeah. And I just walked away.
Mate,
Just walked away. And in my mind, she gave a fuck. I don't think she did.
Barbers, yeah, they all know. My old barber used to like look at, he'd Instagram all his other barber mates.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Barber. Oh, he'd be like, look at this one. He thinks he's ace.
So the way we see each other's clips pop up in that.
Yeah. It's like comedians.
So pathetic, isn't it? Like we live in a world where we just think our world is the most important world. Like when you actually break it down, like why? Because I used to do that. Like, oh, look at that shit fade he's done on theirs if he's posted that. But now it's just like, oh, it doesn't even have a punchline. It doesn't even have a punchline. But when you break it down, like, why do any of us care? Do you know what I mean? Like he spelled the subtitles wrong. Do you know what I mean? Like it just doesn't make sense. So fucking pointless. But in our world, it's the most important thing.
I really hope you put out a clip on this episode. There's a spelling mistake.
Yeah. He's going to purposely spell subtitle wrong on this clip that's probably going to go out. But like, do you reckon plumbers do that? Like they defo do like fucking, you'll see TikTok videos of like people that have done decking in a guy. He's like, oh, fucking hell, that dovetail's a bit fucked. Like, oh, why do you care? Go and have a conversation with your wife. You've ignored her for a week. Do you know what I mean? Like, why are you asked? Why does anyone care? It's so pathetic.
TikTok is weird. Do you go on it?
Mate, we had the funniest fucking thing happen to us. Can we talk about it, do you reckon?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah. So we posted a video with Jamie H.
Right,
We posted it a few weeks ago, months ago, whatever, and it's still sort of doing well. It's still ticking over with views, and it was him complaining that he thinks that roast dinners aren't real and that no one really likes them. They just pretend to like them.
Right,
His face says they're overrated. The clip's done really well because obviously it's very opposing. Like some people agree, some people hate it. They all come together to have an argument, right? A fucking guy, a YouTuber with 1 million subscribers,
Right.
saw that clip. And then like did a stitching on.
Yeah.
He basically like shared it and like added his own little fucking take at the end. And it was just the main hook of the video, and then it just cut to him going, "Can we not all agree that there's too many podcasts?"
That's a shout. Yeah. There's only so many hours in a day.
Yeah. Yeah, like as if he's trying to listen to all of them. Like, there's too like he wasn't giving us hate. He was just like, guys.
How
just
many
stop
are
it."
given such fire roast dinner based content?
Well, that's it. That's it, right? My issue is with it, like you get some comments like that, and we leave them. Like that's what's going to happen when you're putting fucking clips out and stuff.
Yeah.
And if a random person said it, we go, oh, whatever. This guy had 1 million a million YouTube subscribers. He was quite big on TikTok, and I just commented on it because I went on his Twitter where he's also quite big, and I just typed in his and I also typed in the words mental health because he's like sort of like an influencer type. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
And sure enough, it was just fucking.
The fucking
100
audacity of one of those lot
Wait.
weighing in. Influencers.
He was not like an influencer.
Too many
but
podcasts. You're a fucking influencer.
Well, this is it. And he's a YouTuber. He's a YouTuber.
Get the fuck out of it.
The fucking something everyone has an account for. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I like I say, I went on Twitter, typed in mental health, and I might slide in the fucking screenshots of it because we'll just tweet after tweet after tweet of him going, "Oh, people pretend to care about mental health, and then it's just other people just sitting on other people for no reason, right?" So I seen all that, and I just commented on it and was like, "Hey mate, cheers for sharing this. Don't forget to keep being an ambassador for men's mental health while simultaneously shitting on smaller creators for no reason whatsoever." The guy replied straight away going, "Oh, like I wasn't like attacking you, mate. Like I just don't agree with the roast dinner thing." And we just ignored it. We're like, "You've been a shit house." He replied immediately. He put, "We can delete it if you want. I can delete it if you want."
Classic.
And I just didn't respond. Like
Backtracking.
You've been a shit house there.
Yep.
Anyway, he deleted the clip like fucking 10 seconds later and then commented on our original video like, "Oh, I'm really sorry about this, guys."
Yeah.
Like, you absolute shithouse. I was sat there, I was like, because we weren't going to respond, but then I thought, I can't imagine. I said this to you, and I can't imagine imagine me and you had 1 million subscribers, and we just spent our Sunday evening shitting on smaller creators.
And you could be having
10,000.
a roast dinner.
You've just awoken a memory in me, lad, and I'm not even sure whether I want to. I'm gonna have to.
Did you fuck a teacher?
No, I didn't.
I know you had weird teachers at your school.
So I was kind of nonced. Kind of.
Right.
So
Explains a hell of a lot.
when I was like 14, 15, like my mum and dad had this friend. Yeah, like a female friend, right? Who
Okay.
I was friends with their kids. Mate, I was attracted to her. And one night...
I had one of them. One of my mum's friends. She was called Ange, and oh my God. That's Beth's mum's name now. Sorry I've interrupted you, but you've just awoken that in me.
I saw a weird twinkle in your eye.
Mate,
but of all the... That's the
phenomenal she
least
was.
sexy name I've ever heard as well,
Mate.
Ange.
Yeah. Oh, unreal, man. She was...
But yeah, that's it.
We'll come back to it.
It happened, so done it. You know what I mean? And I was attracted to her.
Wanted to bum her head off.
But one night they were fucking hell. That was aggressive. They'd been drinking, like she'd been drinking with my parents and whatever, and everyone had sort of like she'd ended up asleep in ours, and I just wanted to get her out the house. And she was like, she like lived in the street. I'm not going to disclose any further information so she can be identified. But she fucking threw the lips on me and gave us a little cheeky kiss. She gave me a kiss.
Lips?
Yeah, on the lip.
How old was she?
Tongue.
How old was she?
Like old lad, not like old, but like late 20s, 30. Like I got nonced, but it was the best thing that ever happened to me at the time. Do you know what I mean?
How old were you?
I was like 14, 15.
Oh dear.
Yeah, I mean that's what I mean. I didn't know whether to bring it up because it is a bit odd, but I wasn't. Yeah. I don't feel like a victim in this situation.
Well, that's it, isn't it? It's always like, oh, this fucking 14-year-old student had sex with his science teacher and she's always an absolute worldie. Everyone's like, what's the problem?
Yeah.
Well, Because he's 14. That's
Yeah.
the problem. It's still like...
And she was proper fucking drunk too. Do you know what I mean? It's not as if she was like making a conscious decision to do it anyway. A move.
That's fine then.
It happened. And that
Sounds
was
like
it.
you're trying to cover
Defending.
yourself up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like is it really? I was just necking her while she was asleep on the couch. Yeah, she nods to me. No. And then
Who's in the wrong there? Because she's the one kissing a 14-year-old.
so I told my mum and dad about it. I told them, and my mum was a bit like uncomfortable with it, as you can imagine. And I just can't. It like kind of just like. They never really hung out as much or whatever, do you know. But as the years went
It's
on,
hard to imprison, isn't it?
as the years went on, and I started getting sorry that I just fucking steamrolled over that joke. Then, as the years went on, I started to like drink and go out and that. And as I became like 18 and I was going out drinks, once I was bladdered and I came home and I don't know what made me do it, but I knocked on her door and she opened and she was having a drink. We were having a drink together, right? And I was like.
This sounds like bullshit.
No, I swear down, lad. I swear down. And I was trying to be flirty, and I'm not like that. I'm not like that at all. And we were in our kitchen, and I tried not to give away the location that she lived. She lived next door to us, and the window. Like
I don't know where you live either.
It's
Well,
relevant,
they
but this
don't,
is
at least.
relevant. Heavy next door is relevant. So we were in our kitchen, which leads onto the backyard, and we were talking. And I was. It's so cringy to think. Do you know when you wake up from blackout drunk and you just have like the snippets of memory? I was going, oh God, it's so cringy, lad. I was going, I'm not a little boy anymore.
What? You said what?
I said that right, yeah. I said that right. But I'd also on the way home. Like my parents were dead like sound with drinking when I was like a teenager. I'm sorry, mum, if I shouldn't be saying this.
Pensioners trying to fuck you.
They were of the mindset that like he's going to go out and do it anyway.
Yeah, no,
so if we're open and honest about it,
Yeah.
then he will tell us like where he is and we'll know he's safe. So I'd messaged them to say I was on the way home ages, like and then they'd not heard anything off me. Little did they know I was next door doing this. Well, so I thought.
Doing what?
Well, trying it on with the next door neighbour, and then I shit out, basically. I shit out, and I went home because my mum was calling me. My phone was going off, Joe. They were starting to panic. Where is he? Where is he? My phone's going. Well, so I think. And I go home next door. I open the door, and my mum and dad are crying, laughing at me because they were in the kitchen, and both windows were open, and they heard me.
Fuck off, they've heard you.
They heard me trying it on, and they were going, I'm not a little boy anymore. Mocking me to my face. And I'm just
We
like...
need that on a hoodie immediately.
little boy anymore. And I suppressed that memory, and I don't know why. Just a conversation before I brought it back up, and now I don't know how I feel. It's weird, isn't it?
Hang on. So where did this woman stand?
Weird.
Like, did she? Like, did you?
It was never.
she trying
It was never addressed. It was just
right,
never
but like,
addressed.
did you pull her?
No, I shit out. I failed. I think I could have, and my mum was calling me, and I thought, oh shit, and I went home. That was it.
So you just went home.
Yeah.
Nothing ever got said to her again.
I felt like a mug for what I'd done, so I didn't really. Do you know what I mean? I didn't speak about it. Literally, that's it. Just water under the bridge. Just forgotten about, lad. And I should have stayed dead. I shouldn't have brought it up on the podcast.
I'm quite glad that you did. That's so funny. All that does is tell me that you've literally been so terrible with girls from day one.
Yeah,
Like,
I really
you got
have,
nonced
mate.
and you looked the knobhead. You ended up looking like the fucking idiot in this situation. Imagine being the victim of a sex crime and everyone's going, wait. Hi, Aaron and Liam. I want to tell you about the worst moment of my life. Apologies if this is a bit intense for the pod, but I love watching and think it'll be a great way to get it off my chest. About 5 years ago, while at school, my son went missing. He was all I had in the world and he was gone. Fucking hell. I know neither of you have kids, but I was completely crushed. His mum had passed away just after he was born. It was just him and I was broken. I'll be completely honest and say that I was really struggling after his mum died, but I remained strong for him. I understandably became overprotective, which bothered him a lot, and we used to fight and argue. I just let it happen and figured he would understand my reasoning as he gets older. As soon as I found out he was missing, I contacted the police and a search party was conducted. I went out trying to find him with some friends who were honestly useless and just made things harder for me. We were out searching for days. I live in a really rough area, and while asking some strangers for help, they attacked and mugged me. Fuck me. The police had no results and I was giving up hope. I kept on searching. I'm relieved to say I eventually found him, asleep on the floor in the doorway of a dentist of all things. And I can't tell you how overjoyed I was. Also, I've just made all of this up and I just sent you the plot of Finding Nemo. Love the plot. You fucking cunt.
I do a lot of Asian gigs. I do a lot of Muslim gigs as the bad boy of the Muslim comedy scene. Speaking of bad boy of the Muslim comedy scene, right? It's completely true.
You did one last night, didn't you?
I did a Muslim gig yesterday.
At the Frog.
Huh?
At the Frog once.
At the Frog, yeah. And it was absolutely brilliant. It took me a long time to learn how to play those gigs. But I used to be, many years ago, on Muslim dating apps.
Okay. This, really?
Yeah.
It's like a special apps.
Yeah.
I'm
So
just
Please,
completely
what are they called?
like Minder.
Fuck off, is it called that? Yeah. Fuck off.
There's the Muslim Hinge, which is Minge. No, that's a joke.
Yeah, you don't say.
Hey? Like what you see?
It's like regular Hinge, but hairier.
You got to swipe east to find out. Anyway. Right. So
Oh, it's so funny.
I was on Minder especially, so you could as part of we set up the profile, you kind of say how religious you are. So I was just like, look, I'm going to be honest on this thing and just say fucking nothing, drugs, whatever.
Is that an option? Yeah, drugs.
I just do everything. I don't give a shit. So I started getting matched with women who were like, right, so I'm getting married in like 3 weeks, but I feel like I want to have one night of like sin.
Yes.
Before I get married. And you're perfect because you have no principles.
No moral compass.
Yeah, nothing. So I got so many messages from women in that time, from Muslim women who were just like, you are an absolute cunt.
You made yourself the perfect
Yeah.
mistake.
And so I became the bad boy of like Muslim
Dating
dating.
scene.
You're just a surprise a second, aren't you?
One person was like, "Oh my god, you're so disgusting. If you can put pork in your mouth, I bet you like to eat my ass." I was like, "Yeah, I'd love to eat your ass."
Yeah.
Also, pork tastes nice
is
for
ass.
sure.
That's all it is to me.
Yeah, like it was crazy, man.
Yeah.
It was a whole different world for me.
And were you the sin?
Only with one person I did, and after, I mean, this is going to sound much worse than it's meant to be. She started crying afterwards, but what I meant was, it wasn't because of me, right?
Tears of joy.
We had a really, I mean, it was.
Does that not usually happen to you guys?
I mean, it was unbelievable.
Yeah.
That evening that we had, and afterwards she was just like, she started crying a lot, like almost wailing, and I was like, oh my god, please stop crying. I don't know what the hell's going on. She goes, no, I don't want to.
Like fucking Boo on Monsters Inc. When all the lights are flashing, you're like, no. Shaking shit.
And then she was just like, oh no, I just feel like I've just got rid of all my sin on you.
And you were like, yeah.
I'm a sin bucket.
You just absorbed it.
You were under her on a fucking one of those things that a mechanic has.
Sin bucket.
Fucking hell.
I don't think we ever talked. Did we ever talk
I don't
about
know
that?
if we talked
I went
about
to
it on the
Menorca
pod.
for the day.
Like a
That's how
day
broke
trip.
we are.
No, but I think that's
Do you know
a
how hard
boss
it is
idea.
to convince your girlfriend that a holiday for 18 hours is enough, but $3,000 on a podcast studio or however much it's actually cost is a valuable, that is a viable decision. She's like,
I'm
why haven't we
invested
gone
in
to the
myself.
Maldives? It's like, oh, because I need to put a picture of Hasbullah in the corner. I need to put a little cardboard cut out and he's near a plant that costs £60, by the way. Do you know how much plants are? Do you know how much plants cost? £60 for that piece of shit. Oh, did it come with a little, what are they called? Flower pot? No, it didn't. It didn't come with a flower pot because that makes too much fucking sense, doesn't it? You got to buy one of them and then you put the plant in that.
He's alive. Treat him with respect.
It's a prick.
Don't listen.
I genuinely, I got that in B&Q and then I drove it to this place, right? In the back of my car. Did it fit in the back of the car? Not really. Did you have to light it flat? Yes, I did. Do you know what happened? All of the contents of the plant came out in my boot. I might slide the photo in that I sent you, that little video that I sent you of just a fucking plant just in my car.
Literally everything that could go wrong with putting something like this together
See the tablecloth?
has
See this
gone
little
wrong.
tablecloth? Nice, isn't it? Do you know how long that took to put up? Do you know how long it took to put up? It's still not up. I'm not confident it's up. Do you know what I mean? Like, I've got no faith that it's actually up. Like, I don't believe, like, it's fell down so many times. Do you know the wires? Do you know the wires? A mess. Do you know what it's for? To cover those wires. And it's not fucking working. It's not worked. I thought I'd use Velcro. Velcro will be sound, self-adhesive Velcro. It's not very adhesive. I'm all right.
So, you went on holiday.
I went on holiday, yeah. I went on holiday.
You called the plants a prick.
It's been a long month.
You called the plants a prick. He's done nothing. That's B&Q you've got issue with.
Well, you've got loads in common with it, haven't you? If it's done nothing, you've got loads in common, haven't you?
Hey, I'm sure it's
You lazy fat cunt. I'm sick of you.
Our cat has started killing shit now. It's like a phase that cats go through, innit? It's like the teenage phase. Mate, they are vicious killers. They play with shit. A mouse with its guts hanging out, and they'll be like, like it's a fucking bouncy ball. It's grim.
We've seen cats as well, and Beth was like, should we get a cat? And I said I'd be more likely to get a cat than a dog because they're less like hassle. Like, you don't have to do anything with them
for themselves.
But like, I don't know if I want that now.
It's the most
mouse
fucked up
getting
part.
brought in and that.
Yeah, it's sadly, you know, the other day one came in alive and shit. Like, yeah,
A mouse?
a rat.
A rat?
A rat. And when I say alive, I mean it may as well have been dead, but it was still breathing.
Yeah, all right, Beck. You're back early. I got cash back on the engagement ring.
So the other day, like I'm working and I hear Rebecca's mum kind of like screaming, like, you know, it's like kind of like a panic noise.
Like, that's normal.
Well, when we're left in the house alone, it is. That was great. I was and, anyway, I ignore it because I'm busy at work. I just ignore it. I couldn't like break away. Finish me shift.
Great biscuits, then.
They are actually, to be fair.
All right,
They're still going. So I go to I finish my shift and I go outside and she's like, Did you hear the commotion before? And I was like, yeah, why? What's going on? She went, the cat's brought a bird in, but it was alive.
Legend.
And
Cat's bringing birds back.
and she was like, I didn't know what to do with it, so I've just left it outside in the back, like, and kept the cat in and just put it, but it couldn't fly off. It just like jumped and went over a thing. So Rebecca comes home, as I'm being told this. Rebecca rescues it, mate. This bird was fucking massive.
I thought it was a rat.
No, this is a bird. They brought.
Right.
She's bringing all sorts back, but this bird was fucking massive. And Rebecca is like the nature queen. She if a bumblebee is like fucking wriggling around on the floor,
Gives it
dying,
sugar water
she'll give
and
it
that.
sugar
Yeah, I
water
do
and
that.
that. She likes to
Likes to
rescue.
like a hero
like,
and that. Yeah.
Whereas I'm just a scumbag. I'll just be like, pick the wrong day of the year, mate. Should have stayed in. And this, I love animals, I do, but I hate responsibility. So I can't be asked. And there's like, what the fuck are we gonna do with this bird? It can't fly.
You and Bet gonna have kids at any point?
I don't. That's something I worry about. That's it, because that is my. I just don't want to look after anything else
Right.
other than me and Rebecca, of course, but mainly for my interest. You know what I mean? If she's looked after, then I'm happy.
Of course, yeah.
So
Fucking real hero.
Rebecca gets this bird and puts it like she gets it water, gets it food, and puts it in like this big plastic box and leaves the top ajar so it's got air. And she's like, we'll check on it and, you know, see whether it's okay to fly off and stuff. That night it just kind of like stood on the spot like it was fucking traumatized. It had just been fucked up by a cat. Its wings all fucked, and it was just like stood there like it was traumatized. The next day it was all hoppy and shit moving about, so we were like, maybe it'll fly off.
Give it a line.
I mean, it is Anfield, lad. She just so we
Pint of beer, sat on beak.
Why did I love that so much?
I'm so annoyed at it saying, did you give it some beak in the first place? That's so annoying. Oh, it was such an open goal as well.
Lad, you took the shot. You just missed the pen, that's all.
So annoying.
So the bird's more energetic, it's bouncing about, but it still won't fly. So Rebecca's like, you're going to have to keep an eye on it today. I've got to go to work. I'm just shafted with the responsibility of this bird. It's upstairs in the bedroom. I'm working downstairs, and
It's not a full-time job. What do you mean the
it's a
responsibility
live
of the bird?
animal. I don't. She's left the fucking the lid off it so it can have oxygen. I don't want this bird shitting all over me stuff. All our stuff is in that room. We live in someone else's house. I didn't want a bird to shit everywhere. So she calls me. She's like, "How's the bird doing?" I'm like, "I don't know. I'm working." She's like, "Can you go check on the bird?" And I go in the room.
Have you named the bird at this point?
Mate, the bird is gone. I go in the room, the bird's gone, and I'm like, "Babe, this bird's fucked off here. I don't
Was
know
the
where
window
it is."
open?
The window was open, and I'm like, "The bird's gone," and she's like, "But it couldn't fly. It couldn't have gone." I'm like, "It's exactly like, the window's open. This bird must have fucked off."
How wide's the window open? Because like I had a fly today that couldn't
Wide.
find its way out.
Wide, like as wide as it can
Right,
go.
okay.
It could have got. If it's flying and shit, it could have
Sound.
got out there. And it had previously in the morning hopped onto.
Did you not hear it flying about the gaff?
So I'm looking for it everywhere just to be on the safe side. And Rebecca's like, "It can't have flown out." I'm like, "The window's open. It's flown out." And she's like, "Keep just please just try and look behind everything for it." I have a quick look behind. I can't see anything. But I think I'll just sit in the room for a bit and I'll just sit in the quiet because a bird's gonna make noise. I'll listen out for this bird. So I'm sat on the
No,
bed.
you wanted a rest.
Yeah, we're supposed to be working.
You moved the wardrobe. You wanted a rest, and I'm here for it.
So I was on my break at work.
Okay.
And I was I was sat like just listening out for this bird. I start getting really bored. I can't sit still, so I think, "Oh, I'll have a wank."
What?
Yeah, that's where my brain went. I just thought, I'll have a wank.
Thinking of the blue tip.
So I decided to have a wank.
God, you're fucking so odd.
I started watching some
There's potentially a bird. What bird was it? Like a pigeon?
I was like a blackbird, like a big fucking
An eagle?
an ebony. It was a big. I think I know it's a weird. I realize in retrospect how weird it is, but it's just where I went to in my brain. I'll have a wank, and then I was like, I was watching something on my phone, and
BBW, big bloody wings.
because it wasn't on, because it was on silent, because my phone was on silent. I like the noise and that in porn. It wasn't doing it for me. So this is my logic, lad. I was sat in the room to listen out.
You
for
like
a
the
bird.
noise in porn?
I like the noises.
Let's come back to that later.
So I put my headphones in. Right? Which just defeats the object of
but you're
what I
trying to
was
hear
doing.
the bird.
I don't know what the fuck was going through me. At that point, I've got a stiffy. I'm steaming.
I could never wank with headphones in.
Are you messing?
I'm too scared of what might happen.
No, I had headphones in, lad.
Oh, no.
One ear out, though. That's the key, innit? But I'm still...
Like you're walking down the street in a bad neighbourhood.
Yeah, exactly. Always want it. You never know what's going on. And also, I am supposed to be listening out for a bit. But the bird's gone out my head now at this point. I'm just
I
having
would
a wank.
hope so.
Just having a wank. And then I hear like... so I'm wanking, I'm getting closer and stuff. And I hear like a flapping. And I'm like, shit myself. And I hear it.
And then you started flapping.
I started flap. I heard it knocking against something. And I just thought, that sounds like the window. So it must have jumped out the window, landed on the ledge outside, and it's like trying to get back in and it's hitting the
Do
window.
you not look at the window?
I'm close, lad. And I'm like, I'm going to jizz.
Did you jizz on a bird?
I'm going to jizz in a minute. I'll leave that for now. I'll leave it for now. I wasn't thinking straight. It's only in retrospect. But I'm like, I'll leave that for now. So I'm getting close. And then the flapping gets louder, lad. And the flapping gets louder, and then I decide to look.
Imagine that's your kink. The more the bird's in distress, the more you're like, keep going.
Bear in mind, this bird's just been fucked up by a cat as well. Like, and I'm getting closer and ignoring the flapping, but then the flapping gets louder, and I turn, and the bird is just. It never left the room. The bird's on a unit staring at me wanking. And I look this bird in the eye and I stop and I panic. And then I have to like fucking put the bird back in the box, lad. And the bird just like ate and drank nothing for a day and died. And I genuinely think
It's fucking
this poor majestic.
It
Tame the skies, lad. This bird could fly. And the last thing it saw, the last like day of its life, it saw me wank. It was in the room watching me.
That's a crime.
I feel bad. I'm not proud of it. And when I found it dead, it was dead sad because Rebecca was like, check on the bird. And I walked in and it was just like, I feel so bad about it. Yeah, I wanked in front of a bird.
That's like, I'm barely reacting, but I've got tears in my eyes. That's so fucking horrible. It's
And-
made me feel a bit sad almost.
I made a
I'm
bunch
not
of
crying because it's sad, but I'm crying because of how fucking ridiculous it all is.
I made a bunch of bad decisions. Like.
Did you see the bird and then come?
I didn't come until after I put the bird back in the bag. That's a finish, lad. I'm not a fucking animal.
No, but the bird is, and you subjected it to. Oh God, I can't imagine that's a pretty sight either.
I was relieved when the story did get like kind of blown over at the pod because it happened that day. So the Rob Thomas episode, it happened that day. And it came up a point where I could say it, but I'm thinking, do I tell this story? It's a bit dodgy. I wanked in front of a bird, and I was so relieved it didn't.
All right, Louis C.K.
The cat brought in mouse,
right.
literally like a day or two ago. She came over the back wall. She's been bringing them in and leaving them around lately.
Gifts.
Yeah, but she doesn't kill them. She's a sick fuck. She plays with them, and they're like dying. So they're like. Do you know that laboured breathing? Like they've been in the jaws of a fucking beast. Do you know what I mean? And she's
You could
just
hear a spider breathing.
not a spider, a
It's
rat.
a rat.
A rat. Confused.
Like one of Harry Potter. But it was a fucking massive one.
I'm gonna say if you
Well,
could
I do
hear a
live in
spider
Anfield, lads.
breathing, like something's gone wrong there. It's a big fucking spider.
She's bringing back these baby rats, and she brought one in the kitchen whilst I was in the kitchen making me breakfast. It was Sunday. And I was, so I was doing like a good,
I
like,
wondered how far you were going into the. What were you having for breakfast? I've got to know now.
It was a good fry up, so do you know what I mean? I've got shit on. I've got stuff on the
yeah,
go.
yeah.
I've got bacon. I've got these
Couple
like
of hobs minimum.
Yeah, exactly. I've got shit going on. And my missus is in the kitchen, and she just goes, "Oh God, she's fucking got one again." Because she sees her coming over the back wall with it in her mouth. And she comes, and I'm just like tuning it out because
Put it
fry
straight
ups,
in the pan. Medium rare.
you're at that point with like where everything's coming together. Do you know what I mean? You don't want to overcook anything. Like that little bit of like,
I know what
just
you mean.
no
It's
attention.
just
It's gonna fuck up the whole dish. I've been making this, like you said, multiple pans. It's a big clean-up
A
operation.
fry-up's one of the
for
worst
one
meals
person.
you can possibly have, by the way. But carry on.
What do you mean?
Disagree.
For that exact reason, he just said, don't mind eating it in a cafe or a restaurant,
I
but
love
it's a
putting it
fucking,
together.
it's
It's a-
shite.
it is
Same
a
with
faff.
fajitas. Beth made fajitas
Fajitas
yesterday.
is sound.
Fajitas are sound, but she made them yesterday, and we have a bit of it, like we do tapas fajitas, we have a
What
bit
do
of
you mean?
halloumi on the side and stuff, and we have some chips and everything. Like we put the whole, we put,
Fajitas and chips. What are you talking about?
I mean, I eat chips with
fucking
them.
Council
Well,
estates. He starts doing old El Paso in the head.
Some spaghetti
Mate.
hoops on the side there.
Mate, you were making a fry-up while your cat brought a rat in, and you didn't get rid of it because you were eating a rat, and I'm the council estate. I'm the one on the council estate. Are you joking? Are you fucking messing?
hell.
You were like, oh, give me a minute. My beans aren't done. What are you talking
That's a
about?
fucking rat. What did you do to it? Did you kick it out?
So she comes in with it in her mouth, and I just like
Beck or the cat?
the cat.
Right, good.
Beck's in the room, and I just literally like no communication, no whatsoever. Just focus on what you're doing.
Yeah.
You can't be arsed with this. She's in the kitchen. She's spotted it. She'll sort it. Our dynamic's different. Rebecca's solid. I am a pussy hole in a shithouse.
Okay.
It's not that I'm scared of the
Spoiler
rats.
alert.
extra. Just breaking news.
Just in case you were listening to this on the audio and you hadn't yet, but you didn't know yet. Do you know what I mean? We're all
hate to
shit
break
houses.
it to you.
Yeah.
But but it wasn't like I was scared of the rat. I just thought like I also don't have any qualms with the cat doing what the cat needs to do with it. Do you know what I
circle
mean?
of life,
Yeah,
innit?
yeah,
Yeah. Doing
She's
what it
like
needs to.
the vegan in her. Like I want to save the world and stuff, which is a great quality. It sounds like I'm having a go at you. I just don't have that. Do you know what I mean? It's a good quality. She's like, I'm gonna save this rat's life.
Save it.
And I'm like, what's the fucking point? It's just gonna get chomped on again by another cat or whatever. But I don't say that. What's the point? Just let her do a thing. So she's like trying to chase the cat around the kitchen. Cat's got the rat dangling out of his mouth. She gets the cat by the neck. The cat drops the mouse. The rat, it's a baby rat. It just gets around like,
Yeah, that gets worse.
yeah, the stinky
Baby rat.
Had a nappy on.
How did we know it was a baby rat?
size of his dick.
There's literally no exciting ending to this story. She tried to chase them.
We'll make one up. Keep going.
She tried to like, once she'd got the cat out the room and the rat was loose, she was trying to catch it, but she was like what you were saying, do you know, when they like the movements of them.
Yeah, hectic.
But it was in shock, so it wasn't hectic enough. Like, it was in shock. It's just been in the mouth of a beast, mate. How would you feel if you'd just been brought in by a lion? You were in its gob. You're about to die.
No, you can smell his fucking bacon and sausage.
Am I next?
You're like, fucking hell.
Am I going on this toast or
He's
what?
going to overcook them fucking hash browns if he's not careful. You're running about. Fuck.
See, this is where me and Becky are totally different, because she wanted to fucking save it. I'd have put Stuart Little on in the corner and just made it watch it. She's like, look at you now. No, you're not like all the other mice.
I just cared about me fry up more. That's all.
I mean, I'm not going to argue with you, mate. That's, fair.
Did you kick it out? And then...
I did not.
You've only just
I
met
put
the
the
rat.
fry up together. I was having it in a wrap, so it was like an all-day breakfast wrap. Do you know what? Yeah, like loads of bacon, egg, cheese in a wrap, and it would barely wrap. It was that stuff.
Were there
that
any
I'm
chips on
frying
the
it
side?
up. No chips on the side. Mexican breakfast. It's an infusion dish.
The concept of you having a wrap has changed the whole look of this kitchen for me.
Because
honestly, that element of the story has spun my head. I don't know what to believe anymore. You're making this fry up and then you go, fuck it, let's just wrap the fuck.
it wasn't full. I'm talking like bacon, two kinds, backhand streaky. It was a bacon. I was cleaning out the fridge. New year, new me.
Yeah.
Like you were saying.
Two kinds of bacon in a fucking breakfast wrap.
I'd got these like slices of fucking sausage or something from Tesco that were like ready cooked. You could have them on a butty, but I was fucking living it like I was frying them off. Do you know what I mean? In the bacon fat and that. Frying an egg, and then I'm like, I've got to put it together. While this is all going on, I'm trying to squeeze this bastard wrap together. It's not sealing, so I lash it back on the frying pan. Try and fry it closed, and I do. I fry it closed over, but it's still opened at the ends. So,
you open at the half.
so I've got to eat it, and I'm eating it in the kitchen while all this is going on. Just stood over the dripping.
Try to enjoy your last double bacon wrap in peace. Fucking hell.
Dripping grease onto the plate and that while this is all going on, and I'm not even like paying any attention or asking her how it's going on. I'm just being
Meanwhile, Beck's got fucking defibrillators on this rat in the corner. Just like, clear. Nothing's going to prepare you for what I'm about to say. I just found out that I've been dating my biological brother for 6 years.
Context.
You want some?
Context, please.
I mean, straight away, as someone who's watched a lot of stepsister porn, that'd put the relationship into high gear for me. You know what I mean? Yeah. What's the bad news? I don't know.
For someone who has a biological brother.
How you doing, Jack?
I'm a bit more concerned.
I am 32 and my brother is 30. I'm just going to call him my boyfriend for the majority of the time while I type this. I feel weird about this. I was adopted as a baby, but I didn't know that I was adopted until I was in high school. I didn't feel betrayed or care much. I love my parents and my parents love me. Who cares if they aren't my real parents? My boyfriend was also adopted, and when we met, it was one of the things that we sort of bonded over. We both didn't learn we were adopted until high school, and we both were lucky and had good families. We weren't passed around from foster home to foster home. Our relationship was, and still is, great. We understood each other very fast. We were attracted to each other quickly. I've never met someone and felt immediate attraction and familiarity.
Familiarity.
That word.
Familiarity.
Yeah. Now I know that the comfort and familiarity.
Just you keep the word you're tripping on is like family. It's like you're saying that every head.
The fact that I can't say this word makes me feel like I come from an ancestral family.
Yeah, it's just like switching. You're trying to.
Yeah. Now I know that the comfort and familiarity, it was because he is my brother, not my half brother. He is my full brother. We've done everything a couple that has been together for 6 years could do. We've said we love each other, we've had sex, we've celebrated anniversaries, we've met each other's families. I'm just glad we both agreed early on that we didn't want to have kids, so that has never happened. I don't want to deal with the health risk and have to raise a child and them know that their parents are siblings. You don't say. Imagine that in the schoolyard. Oh my God. I discovered when we did the DNA testing to see our ancestry and what exactly we are. I ordered 2 for us and we spit in the tube and sent it out. It took like a month for the results to come back and I was excited to see what we were. But before I could even get to that, I saw that we were siblings. I was shocked to say the least. I only just found out this information and haven't told my boyfriend. I'm really hoping that they made a mistake, but things are kind of starting to make sense to me now. We always get the you guys look so alike, or he's the male version of you.
But that happens sometimes, doesn't it? I've seen
Yeah,
couples
so they wouldn't
that
have
look
questioned it, would they? Long before this test, we've always gotten compared. We always just laughed it off, but we've spent the morning looking at pictures of us together and realising that we really do look alike. It's freaking me out and I don't really know what to do. I still love my boyfriend/brother and we've been together for 6 years. We have a house together and a whole comfortable life. I'm hoping that this test is wrong and we'll do a real test soon, but I'm panicking. I still see him as the love of my life. What a situation to be in.
I thought, when you first read it out, I thought I'd be like, eek, I've got a brother in that.
But when you actually look at it with just a smidge of compassion,
My heart's genuinely breaking, and I think fuck DNA, fuck those tests. Shag your brother.
I mean, what do you do?
You've got an alibi.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? If I start bumming our Jack's head off now, it's not going to fly, I don't think, with me mum.
No.
But they've got the perfect alibi, like. Not an alibi, it's the wrong.
Not they even need an alibi. They didn't know.
Exactly.
And I am inclined to agree.
They did.
But how
not
do you
know.
get past it? Like, what would you do if Beck told you that you was... I mean, first of all, you get rid of your boner. You know what I mean?
It changed. You can't just turn feelings.
Well,
off.
that's it. But it's always going to be that awkward... He is. Do you know what I mean? Like, how do you... Once you know, don't you?
You can't get rid of that information. But like, it's still, that person doesn't check. Mate, do you know what? This just remind me, I've seen something like this before.
Yeah, it's been on like Jeremy Kyle. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You see those two, there was like 2 gay fellas and they were given the news on Jeremy Kyle live. And mate, again, it was heartbreaking.
There's always, because there's no better place.
They were
that fucking pot-touring gobshite is staring at you, and all the crowd are
judging
going,
you. Yeah. Oh, mate, and the people work, and mate, people in the audience do smile and kind of laugh at that sort of thing. These fellas were bereft. And they were just going, I still care about you. I'm always going to be there for you. You can't just erase the fact that you've tasted each other's spunk. That's a bond. That's stronger than brotherhood.
Is it?
Yeah.
Spunk's thicker than blood, is it? Blood's thicker than water, jizzy's thicker than blood. We'll get that on a t-shirt.
Oh, lad, tell him.
I like it, bro. I like it.
Has he ever told you the banana story? I don't know why this amuses me so much.
That's such. All right, so in Bulgaria, bananas very expensive, right? Give you the equivalent. Just imagine 4 quid a kilo. It's a lot of money for me. I don't know for you.
Aaron hasn't eaten a banana in his life. I
can't picture a kilo of bananas.
Really? It's like 7 bananas.
Right, okay.
You can't cook a banana in an oven.
7 bananas.
4 quid. That's a lot of money for people like me. I don't know about you.
If you can't cook it in an oven from frozen, Aaron hasn't eaten it.
Oh, really? Wow, I was expecting better than you, but it's okay. Now, you're the co-host. I want to be back. I don't want to insult him too much, okay? He books gigs. He's nobody in the comedy industry, ladies and gentlemen. I make fun of him all the time. He books gigs. Mr. Feelgoods, okay? Down with the neon. It's so fucking hot on that stage, but it's okay. I bring the heat anyway. It's a Monday. Give me a break. It's a Monday. Oh, that was so much fun, bro.
Tell us about the fucking bananas.
You and your fucking bananas. Hold on, bro. I'm red in the face over here screaming about, I don't know. So listen, very expensive, 4 quid a banana, right? Now, in Bulgaria, they opened a big, kind of like a little, it was called Kaufland. It was a German stuff, right? And they were like, listen, in order to promote this brand new superstore, what we're going to do is they ordered 3 tons. That's a lot of bananas. That's not 7. That's like fucking, this probably studio can be filled with bananas even more. And we're gonna sell them for like 50 pence a kilo, right? And for 2 weeks only. Bro, I'm not exaggerating. First, it was in the news. First page of the newspaper. In Parliament, they're saying, listen, hey, Habibis. You like bananas? Doesn't matter. You're allergic. No, go shove it up your ass. Get the bananas, okay? We love Germany, okay? We love them, you know? So no problem. But the thing is, you can only buy 2 kilos per person, right? And also, there was a queue of people.
Like paracetamol.
The one you'll do yourself in with a potassium overdose. Hey, you probably fucking could with that many bananas.
Yeah, so queue. And also, but if you try to be cheeky, if you go with the whole family, no, not 2 kilos per person, 5 people in the family. 1 kilo per person, because you're the whole family. You want to rig the system. So what you do is you have this long queue, this true story, long queue, and you have all these families. They're like, you're going to sit here. You're going to stand here. 4 people behind me. And if you see me, you don't say we know each other, okay? Grandma, there, you don't know me, okay? Because if they find us out, 1 kilogram per person, right? Anyway, so we're standing there waiting, all that stuff. Now, I managed to get the bananas. It's like a busy nightclub when you go inside that store. It's like that, bro. Everybody, there's bananas flying everywhere, right?
What are we talking about?
Bananas!
Let him tell his fucking story.
I'm so confused.
There's a punchline in 7 minutes. Okay, wait. Smashing it on this podcast. Let's go, bro. Guest of the year. Woo!
Did you just like pop that like it was champagne?
I almost started cursing in Bulgaria. I got so excited. Anyway, fast forward 6 months. I come to the UK, right? Now, I live in London. First day I go, I work in a little office, in West London. Apprentice, just helping out, cleaning shit, whatever, right? And then I move into East London to live. First day I go to Aldi. I go in there and I see bananas, bro. And they're like, bro, they are like 62 pence. And I'm like, oh my fucking God. Cuts to black, right? Next day. I run into the office, bro. I work with 5 British people, and I was like, listen to me. Hey, David, your name's David Guy. Stop what you're doing, okay? I know you're a Bible man, but drop that fucking book. Because right now, you know what's happening in this country, guy? There's 62 pence a kilo for bananas, bro. Go there and buy. And he was like, what are you talking about? They've been that price for 7 years. How much did you buy? And I was like, 9 kilos. It's a true story. 9 kilos. That's a lot of bananas, bro. Just imagine fucking this whole area.
Did that just fill your fucking bed set?
Yes. And my room was tiny. It was like this size here. Half of the room, and I ate all of them, bro. Bananas everywhere, in my ears, in my asshole, in my mouth, everywhere, bro. Just throwing bananas at people, you know what I'm saying? Fucking everything.
Like fucking Donkey Kong.
Yeah, man. Super Mario, Why do you think I have this mustache? That's it, bro. That's the banana story. True story. 9 kilos of banana. I couldn't believe it. I thought, this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
Well, the only reference point you had is that it was national news.
Yeah. I was like, why is the Prime Minister not talking about this? Impossible, dude. So I bought 9 kilos of bananas. Have you ever had a banana?
I don't think he has.
They're quite good,
Yeah, they're good.
Have you ever tried?
They're quite good,
Have you ever tried 9 kilos in 2 days?
No.
You have fun, mate. You just stay on the toilet and just shove them. You shove them in here and you you get them.
Have you ever been recognised at a moment when you really don't want to be recognised?
Yeah, there's a couple.
That gig a couple of weeks ago.
yeah, to be fair, yeah.
Yeah, there was one. So it's coming up to a year. So it was the day my nan died.
Oh, lad.
Yeah. I was... so we got... My mum was still...
The priest was like, is that the finter?
Even I've got a mic.
I love the lids. I love him.
Yeah, so my mum was still at the hospital. We just had the phone call. It was like, your nan's passed away. So my brother and sister were like, my sister went, I want some cigarettes. My brother went, he wanted a can of Rio. It was very specific. Yeah, tropical.
2 different ends of the grief spectrum, that, innit?
I was like, sure, I'll go to the shop.
He was just shitting himself in taxis left, right, and centre. That's all you were doing.
I got into the shop. It's the shopkeeper there and one other guy. I'm walking about, pick up the Rio, and there's a guy just looking at me funny. I was like, it was real, so I was like, that's normal. That's a normal occurrence.
The real handshake.
I got to the counter, put the stuff down, went, can I have a pack of B&H, please? And the other guy that was in there went, "It's you, innit? It's you." I went, "Hello," because I wasn't used to, it was literally a couple of months. No, it wasn't.
Really? Yeah.
It was just after the thank you show that we did. So that's like August last year. He pointed, "It's you, isn't it? You're Finn from Have a Word." I went, "Yeah, I am, mate." And I was just thinking, "Oh, that's it. And he was like, "Can I get a selfie?" So I had a selfie with him.
You were there holding your fucking a load of flowers that said "Nam."
He's got a can of Rio in one hand, a pack of Benny Hedges
Trauma
in the
on
other.
his shoulders.
That's true. that bit's true. Kind of real, but then like out just out of shot, and I'm like,
a frame of his nan.
so that's my probably worst one to get
That's
recognised.
So sad.
At.
And you were a trooper. Did you get?
I
the
did it.
photo taken?
I did the photo, and
he tagged
he
it.
tweeted it. Yeah, because
I want to see it. I know. It'll
I'll
be
find
a
it in a
nightmare
minute.
to
I'll find
find,
it in
but
a
I want to
minute.
see it. Fucking hell, lad. Oh, power to you though for doing anything for the fans.
yeah, I'm a
you
pro,
know what I
man.
mean?
I'm a pro.
A man watched me take a shit the other day.
Obviously,
It's exactly how it sounds.
the funniest things. The funniest things in life are the biggest surprises. That was the last thing.
I mean, it wasn't for me.
Jesus.
It wasn't for me. I feel like I could have given you 100 quid and 1,000 guesses. I said, guess what I'm going to say next. A man watched me take a shit, Liam.
Who's the man?
I want to make one thing clear to you. You've got, haven't you?
I'm such a child. Oh, poo jokes set me off.
I don't know the man. That's the worst part. I don't know the man. So we did the show on Wednesday. I've been dying to tell you about this. It's the weirdest thing for our friendship, genuinely. The weirdest thing for our friendship, because I've been wanting to tell you this. I was like, no, I'll save it for the podcast.
Sorry, mate. I'm gonna have to just give me a second.
I mean, we can't really have dead air because then people are going to think it's part.
That's true. But just, I've got so many questions, and I feel like I need
I'll
to give you the
answer
chance to. Okay, right.
I'll answer them. Don't you worry. I've prepared for such an event.
Okay, so when you say a
The
man,
information I've given you so far is a man watched me take a shit.
yeah. So there's a difference between someone catching you take a shit
No.
and someone watching you
He
take
watched
a
me
shit.
take a shit.
So he he what, like the entire thing?
I do not know.
So at what point did you become aware of this? How far through the show?
Okay, so did the show on Wednesday. Dr. Feelgood, Stockport, Feelgood Comedy, pro lineup. I host it every week. Come down, check it out. Just a little plug there. People might watch you take a shit. Right.
Yeah, come for the shit, stay for the comedy.
Yeah.
That's the tagline.
So, okay, right. You're going to have no idea where this story's going, man. A well-known TV soap star was in the audience that night. I'll tell you who it was later. I don't want to fucking name drop. But a well-known TV soap star was at the
Can you
show.
at least tell our audience the soap?
Emmerdale.
Okay, all right.
Okay, so I know of him. Don't know much about him. You know what I mean? Like my mum used to. Whenever I was sat in the living room, my mum had it on. I just know he exists. You know what I mean? So
That's
He's in
Aaron's
the
way
show.
of trying to convince us all he doesn't watch Emmerdale. He
Uh,
fucking loves a dingle him. He got caught with a dingle hanging out of his ass.
sounds like a racial slur, that doesn't it?
Love a bit of dingle.
So yeah. So at the show, General Manager Pete comes up to me, diamond of a man. He goes, "We've got XYZ in from XYZ TV. It's from Emmerdale in tonight. They've not paid to get in. Basically, they've got the way in because he's on the show and they're going to sort of promote the night. But they're going to be dickheads. I can already tell they're going to be dickheads." Now, the reason he knows this is because this particular... I'm not narrowing it fucking down now, but I'm going to tell you the full story anyway, because, you know, he's also won the jungle.
Or, do you mean I'm a celebrity? Get me out of here. Won the jungle. Is that the
It'll make
expression?
sense in a
Okay,
second,
all
right? Because Pete goes, "They're going to be dickheads," because I didn't know who he was. This is Pete talking. He goes, "I didn't know who he was," but he introduced himself as, "Hi, mate, I'm XYZ, King of the Jungle." Right?
Oh my God. The
So
fuck's he
straight
think
away-
he's fucking Tarzan or
Yeah,
something? More like fucking George of the Jungle.
Not even been an I'm a Celeb. Just fucking went backpacking for a few weeks.
What an introduction.
Exactly, right?
King of the Jungle.
So, I'm going in taking a shit. I'm just sat there, minding my own business. I'm on my phone, playing 8-ball pool, chilling. And this guy, the guy that's won the jungle, who's on Emmerdale, he goes in the cubicle next to me. And I know it was him because his mate came in after him, right? And he's obviously saying his name and stuff, and I can just tell by the voice.
Did you ever think that comedy would lead you to this place? Shitting next to a soap star.
Can't say I've ever thought about it. I've been in worse places.
The toilets in there as well, they're like clean, but it's like prison toilets as well.
Yeah, that's the sort of hack joke that every comic makes when they get there now. Yeah,
I'm a hack.
Yeah. And we knew that. Right, so he comes in and he goes in the cubicle next to me. His mate follows him in, and I just didn't think anything of it. It's still on my phone, and they're talking to each other. And then the guy is like banging about and making noises down there. So I'm just sort of like, fucking, I've been in that bed in, but whatever. It's just on my phone, fucking fighting against these guys on 8-ball pool and all that shit, trying to win. Got my win streak up to 9 the other day. I lost it. I was fuming. By the by,
You still pooing at this point, or are you just 8-balling and just haven't wiped yet?
I don't know. I don't remember.
Because when you're playing games and shit on your phone while you're pooing, there is that transition period.
Yeah,
and then you
just sit
become
there for
aware and
30
you're
minutes,
like, I actually finished shitting ages ago.
Yeah.
I've been wallowing in my own filth because I want to beat this Indonesian kid at 8-ball pool.
So, long story short, I mean, I can't really say that after a 9-minute story, can I? So, the guy's stood outside, and then the guy in this. It's so hard to not say his name. This is why it's taking so long to get it out.
You
right?
just deliberately stop.
It's Danny Miller. Who gives a fuck? Really, no one cares. Danny Miller from Emmerdale, and the reason I'm saying his name
is
is because
character or
no, I don't know what his character's got. He's Danny Miller in real life, King of the Jungle. He introduced himself as such, right? Danny Miller. Who gives a fuck? To be honest, no one really cares. And actually, my beef wasn't with Danny Miller. He was actually pretty sound. He was just hammered and a bit pissed, but he wasn't being a dick at all. So. He's in the cubicle next to me. Danny's in the cubicle next to me. His mate stood outside. Danny says to him, he goes, what are you doing out there? And his mate goes, oh, I'm just watching my man in the cubicle next to you. Now.
My guy.
Yeah.
I really like the way you snipped it off. Like, what the fuck's he calling you, man?
Well, the worst part is I'm sat there, I'm thinking, I'm my man here. And I'm in the cubicle next to him. That's not what you want, that, is it?
What does he mean he's watching?
Well, this is it, right? So I thought, what could he fucking mean? And I've looked up, and there's a little gap between the wall and the door. It's like this big, and I've looked up, and I'm not kidding. There's just a pair of eyes like that looking at me.
What the fuck? And he's turned to the side to maximise the fucking...
Maximise the fucking view. Just eyes staring back at me like that. And he fucking... Oh, my God. So he goes...
Mate, we're laughing, but you've been the victim of a sex crime.
Right.
I think we need to call the police.
So I've looked up. So I've looked up.
Sorry, I've gone.
You're fine. So I've looked up. And there's just these eyes.
You turned your head to the side to make eye contact.
Like a dog. Like a dog. Trying to go for a walk.
Oh my God.
You need to talk into the mic. Okay.
I mean, I'm wailing like a banshee. I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure
don't
the
mind
mic
that.
picked it up.
Yeah. So I just looked up and I'm like, mate, what the fuck are you doing? And he goes, I'm watching you take a shit. Like I was a fucking dickhead, right? As if I was meant to be like, all right, fair enough, crack on. Do you know what I mean?
I'm sorry I interrupted you.
I was like, mate, can you fucking not? And he was like, why? What's your beef? It's natural. I said, what's not natural is having a fucking spectator. That's the not natural part. Like, what are you doing? Like, can you fuck off? And he goes, mate, who do you think you're talking to? And I went, the guy that's watching me take a shit, mate. Like, I'll be honest, I don't know who I'm talking to. That's part of the fucking problem, really. And I'm just sat there. I'm like, if I had any shit left in me, it was gone. It was straight out of me.
So sorry, but I just keep hearing in my head, I'm watching my man take a shit.
You've got to think of it from my point of view, where I'm just on my phone and then I look up and just see eyes staring at me.
But to call you my man suggests there's something he saw in you that makes you kindred spirits. Like, yes, last night, genuinely, me and Rebecca are in the cinema. This fella 2 seats down from Rebecca pulls out a Mackey's, and Rebecca goes, he's got Mackey's. And I turned and went, my guy. Like,
yeah, as if you've got loads in common.
Like, my guy, what an idea. I'm doing that next time. I saw a kindred spirit in him. What about you fucking pinching one off, minding your own? Maybe he saw you were playing 8-ball pool and he was like, sick game that.
Yeah.
My man's taking a shit.
64% win ratio, 9,000 games. That's fucking classic.
I used to work in retail and I was working in a clothes shop. We had this like incentive to we'd get paid like a little bit of commission for setting up like a staff account. So if you made a sale, you set them up on an account, a credit account, you'd get 5% of the sale as like a little commission, and it's retail, you're earning fuck all, so it could be like decent, but the credit was terrible, and I hated them because I wasn't gonna like encourage like people to get into debt. You know, if they're like, oh, you don't have to pay now, I can pay on credit.
All right.
There was this old guy in the shop, he was like 50, and he didn't know how to set up the accounts, but he's like worked in sales his whole life. He like lived it. He had a tape measure attached to his belt. Like, he was that serious about it. He loved it. And he would like make these big sales and then just he just didn't know how to use the system, and you'd have to do all the effort, all the work to get him that fat commission. Yeah. But the reason I bring him up, the same guy, it's quite heavy, this. I don't know whether it'll make it to the pod, but he had a son with like an adult son with like non-verbal autism, like heavily autistic, and him and his wife were like lifelong carers for him, and they'd have like respite where he'd go away and stuff. And he was proper knackered. He just looked like shit one day, and I came in and I was like, you all right, Mark, everything okay? I've just named him, that probably wasn't a good idea.
Mark Randalls.
I was like, you all right, Mark, everything okay? And he just looked me in the eyes and he said, if there's any chance that a vaccine can make your child like mine, it's not worth it. And I had that face, and then he said the next line that came out of him, he said, honestly, Liam, I'd rather he was gay. And I just had to Homer Simpson into the hedge away from that situation.
That's so fucking funny. That is so, because there's so much sympathy for that guy the whole way through that story. You're like, oh man, he's a hard worker. He's got his tape measure when he wants to make a sale. He shows people how long his dick is, and then he fucking cracks on with the sale. And we're like, he's a hard worker. He's been dealt a rough hand, and he was like, at least he's not one of them.
That's so fucking funny.
That's
if
so
you don't
funny.
write that the fuck down,
That's so funny, man.
What TV show have you been on?
Yeah.
I was on ITV's The Chase.
Really? How did you do? I've also done The Chase.
Oh, have you?
Yeah.
Sorry, I interrupted before when he mentioned the TV show.
Yeah.
Because he's going to be annoyed that you've brought it up again, because he doesn't come across well.
Would you not come across well on The Chase?
I get loads of shit about it because I took the lower offer.
Oh, you didn't. I'm on a podcast with a low offer chaser.
Let me defend myself, all right?
I took a 64 grand and I fucking got it, you dickhead.
Did you? Yeah. Oh, fucking
low
hell.
offer.
Yeah. You're fucking Oxford educated.
Whoa. Did you take it? No, wait, hang on. Sorry, I've misunderstood. Did you take the low offer or a minus offer?
It wasn't minus. It was
Thank
the
God
low
for
offer.
that.
That's where I justify
No, look,
myself.
a low offer isn't the end of the world.
Yeah.
A minus offer, you should absolutely die in a fire.
I agree. I got 4.
That's why that guy got caught in the explosion. He's been on the chase.
Yeah.
I got 4 in the cash builder, 4 grand in the cash builder.
Okay.
So not much. Do you know what I mean?
It's just, I think you need to go on,
Yeah. So
9
I got
grand cash builder.
I got 4. Yeah. Fuck off. So I got 4 in the cash builder. There was 2 people already back, so I just did, and I was offered £1,000 on the lower. So I thought, if I get back, there's 3 of us. It's £1,000 less each, but we've got more chance if there's more.
Yeah, I think look, the logic of it is when I did it with, who was I on with? Mary from Corrie and Jimmy Osmond.
Even a celebrity one, just man.
Yeah, we all needed the cash. What coincidence? Madness. I went first and took the high and got it, and then everyone afterwards went, "Oh, I'm going to do the same," and they shouldn't have done. So Jimmy Osmond, Ray's Mormon, fucking idiot, doesn't know anything. Kirsty Walk hosts Newsnight, very intelligent, but still. So it was only me and Mary from Corrie.
Just two people back.
Just two people, and the thing with there were certain questions where like we were one. If we'd had one extra answer, we'd have got the cash for the charity. And some of the questions we didn't know, but you're like, Kirsty would have definitely known that because it was about politics or something. And you're like, they should have taken either the lower or the lowest offer, and we'd have all got money for a charity. But instead, my autistic charity for kids, fucking nothing.
I'm judging you now.
Yeah, I didn't get any of that money.
Although you did charity work, I'm judging you now because I'm
still
like,
got fucking paid.
Because you shouted at me. You shouted at me for picking the lower offer.
Did you win?
But no, did I fuck? Nearly did. Nearly, we did get close, but I needed that money, so that's why I took the lower offer. I wanted to increase my chances of winning.
That's fair enough.
You weren't getting it at the end, so you were like, "Yeah, I'll take the big offer."
Yeah, why
you
not?
Were just showing off on telly.
But I mean, I took the big offer because I got a $9,000 cash builder. It was clear that I should take the big offer. I was very good at it.
I was very good at it.
Liam doesn't even want to do stand-up. He's just waiting to gig with Paul Sinner again. So was
Paul Sinner your chaser?
No, he wasn't.
Who did you go against?
I had the Vixen, who was brand new at the time, so she hadn't even been on telly.
And you still took the low offer. You didn't even know if she was good or not.
I did because I'd watched her go twice, and she was good.
She's very good. Yeah. We run a pub quiz together monthly.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, we do host a pub quiz together at the Groucho Club, which is a members club in London. Don't want to be a cunt, but
I'll aim to be there.
I had to sign an NDA not to
leak the Vixen.
Yeah, because she hadn't been released yet, but obviously I just told anyone who does.
Well, but also I think
allegedly.
I didn't. It's just a story on a podcast.
You can't admit to something that you did and then say allegedly.
None of this is true. There's not even been an explosion.
There's not. What's
Matt
the chase?
just said something racist, so we had to cut something out. That's all we could think of. Like, what do you?
That isn't fair. I said that outside in confidence.
Oh my
Ask
God.
you another question about TV though. This
is
of
from
my experience on The Chase.
85-inch on the wall.
Fucking hell. I'm cutting that out.
I'm just jealous.
What, for the teaser?
Yeah.
So when I went on, they told me to bring a bunch of different coloured t-shirts or something for the set. You know,
yeah.
They said I had to look right, and I did. And they instantly told me they weren't good enough. None of them were, because I just bought a bunch of coloured tops from Primark because I needed the money. They took me to they took me to their wardrobe and they picked out a polo shirt for me, and then they stuck sanitary towels on the armpits as if they took one look at me and thought,
he's going to sweat.
Yeah. Now, is this standard practice?
No. I wish I could tell you differently, but I've never had the sanitary towels.
I've been telling everyone it's a TV secret. They all have sanny pads in their armpits.
I know Joe Swash does. He always has sanny pads because he's sweaty.
Yeah.
But yeah, they obviously looked at you and gone, he's going to be a sweaty cunt, isn't he?
They saw me walk up the stairs to the wardrobe and were like...
And then they saw you they saw you in the run-through struggling to answer a question in your $4,000 cash builder.
All right, boys. I don't know what he's called, but he is camp. All right, boys. Let me tell you both about the worst thing I've ever done. So about 10 years ago, when I was 17, I was with my first girlfriend. We were having sex, but neither of us really knew what we were doing. I mean, that's me now. But with your girlfriend, okay?
She's still 17.
Huh?
You're such a nonce.
So about 10 years ago, when I was 17...
Yeah, and then you just said you were shagging his... Oh, yeah, okay, she's 27 now.
Yeah. Well done. If anything, she's a nonce because I'm 25. Don't know how that works. Shut up. So about 10 years ago when I was 17, I was with my first girlfriend. We were having sex, but neither of us really knew what we were doing. Both of us had little to no experience and were very insecure about it. She was on all fours, and I decided to get a little bit devilish. Devilish?
Devilish? What the fuck does... Oh, you cheeky devil. Who thinks like that?
No idea.
I'm feeling rather satanic. What are you going to do? Fucking flush her head down the toilet, you freak.
I mean, have you met some women? I started circling her butthole with my finger and then slowly inserted it inside her. Why is he writing this like he's Christian Grey? Just say you fingered her ass. You're not an erotic novelist.
Nah, man, he's painting the picture. I'm into it. Keep talking. Keep talking, baby. I'm feeling devilish too now. I get what he means.
See my laptop just start fucking rising. Not that high, eh? Shut up. She seemed to enjoy this, so I did it for several minutes. When I took my finger out... Shut up! When I took my finger out, I noticed I had poo on it. Me being 17, I panicked and didn't know what to do. I didn't want her to know and feel embarrassed, so I sucked her poo off of my finger.
No.
That is wild.
No. I refuse to believe it. No, who looks at that? Right.
I have never loved a woman enough to eat her shit. That is insane.
I can't even fathom that thought process. I would...
You would what?
Oh, I'm sorry, Beck. I'm sorry for what I'm about to share. Is I was having sex with Rebecca once. She's gonna fucking hate me.
Why do you keep telling horrible stories about your fucking...
I love it. This isn't horrible. This
two
is
consecutive episodes
I actually
in a
think
row.
this is a sweet story because my love for it is at the heart of it. Okay,
right.
It's that, and she was on her knees and I was at the back, right? And I'm just trying to say it clinical. Well, I'm trying to be respectful.
She was on all fours.
I'm trying to be respectful. I don't want to be like, oh yeah, I was fucking smashing a lad. That's not who I am. All right. And she's so she's on her knees. I've got a view of the back, yeah. And I notice just on the edge of her asshole, a tiny little bit of toilet paper, tiny like that, like a little crumb of toilet paper. And I know if I say something about it, she is going to be devastated. Do you know what I mean? It's dead embarrassing that, innit? And that's why am I telling her on it? And then, so what I decided to do was try and pick it off discreetly, and just like lash it, yeah. But I'm like, I can't get a grip of it, so I'm like, I'm going like that repeatedly to the point where she turned around like, what the fuck are you doing?
Always what you want to hear during sex.
I mean, I'm used to that, to be fair. So how the fuck do you end up with a piece of shit on your finger and your first thought is, I'm going to suck this off?
Yeah, it's a lot in it. Like,
I would love for someone to walk past the recording studio and just hear that sentence said. What's going on in there?
Yeah, it's a lot, and like I said, I've never loved a woman enough to eat her shit like that. I'm sorry, Beth. Just spoiler alert. But I don't understand. He's not done. He wasn't done. He goes, I wasn't able to keep my face straight, obviously, and she asked what was wrong. I said nothing, but she put 2 and 2 together. She then told our friends what had happened, and I was given the nickname Edward Shitty Hands. That's fucking brilliant, to be fair. That's fucking... Shout out your mates. That's fucking phenomenal, right? I said that I did it so she wasn't embarrassed, and she said it was more embarrassing having a boyfriend that would lick her shit rather than be honest, and that I made it worse.
Yeah, I think she's right, you know.
We broke up very soon after, and the constant flack from my mates irritated me, so I blocked them all before going travelling for 2 years. By far the worst thing I have ever done. Love the pod, keep up the good work, and he signed it Edward Shitty Hands.
He stays on brand.
Yeah. He had sex one time, then fled the country.
Oh yeah, so I'll go and look at moving house. Look at this house, right, in this little village the other day, right? And I've got to shoot off. I've got something to do at 10:30, and it's 10 in the morning. Yes. And I've done the viewing. It's shit. So it's fucking. It made me sad.
The viewing was shit, or the house was shit.
The house was shit. And at one point, she said, "Oh, do you want to go upstairs?" And I went, "Do you know what?" I said, "I'm all right." I said, "It's made me feel sad." I said, "I'm sad." I was just in the comment. I feel sad already. I went, "I don't want to go upstairs." I went, "I'll just call it." Might have been a panic being consolable. Oh, yeah. But it was just like I went in and I was like, "This smells like a single man has died in this house." And
you don't want that to be your future,
and not in a good way.
Yeah, he didn't die as a bachelor,
but he died sat in the front window and no one even knocked on for a while. Anyway, I thought I'm not dying here. And so I went, no, I'm not staying. So I just went, I'm going, thank you. So I was like, wait, I don't have to worry now because I can just make this meeting at 10:30. So it's a tiny little car park out the back, public car park. And I was like, already.
That's where the meeting is.
No, not the meeting. No.
Is it a jumble sale?
Right, my car is parked out the back behind this house. It's only a little village, so I'm like, and this fucking Range Rover is parked behind my car in a non-space. So now I can't move.
Yeah.
Nor could 2 cars next to me if they wanted to. And it just got me
So he's parked sideways?
He's parked. So all the cars...
Across.
I can use this.
For the benefit of the audio listener, Phil is holding a remote control car that Liam gifted to me on episode 4, I want to say.
So for the people over there who like looking at 3 men sat down...
Isn't that most talk shows?
Yeah. Yeah, sadly it is. Sadly it is usually 3 white men sat down. It's a shame, isn't it? I'm glad to see you guys are trying to change that. Flying the flag for diversity here on which one's this one? Which podcast? One of them. Anyway, right, the car's like that, right? Car's there. And then, so that's my car. This car has decided to park here.
Fucking knobhead.
So I can't go anywhere.
The picture's no clearer with the fucking car.
Yeah, you actually obscured the shot with the car.
Right.
I saw it. I don't think anyone else did.
Pass me the Marmite. Will someone pass me Dwayne Johnson? Someone pass me Dwayne The Rock Johnson. Thank you. Okay, so there are all the cars, right? These are all the cars. These are all the cars. And you can quote me on that. Would you someone kindly pass the Dwayne?
It's all a fancy this morning. I just really fancy Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
If you want, I can run out and get you Kevin Hart.
Oh, funny. Oh, good times. There we are.
So what happened?
So anyway, so we're all here. This car's just gone, there's nowhere to park, fucking just crabbing right to Dwayne. If you ever see on the podcast, Dwayne's left shoulder. Fucking part there. Left shoulder, I'd say, to left thigh. He's parked across, there's 3 cars there. And there's just, he can't get out. So, I was, would you do me honest? Would you do me honest? Returning Dwayne. I reckon I could do the car most of the way.
Oh my fucking God.
Would you? I couldn't trouble you at all, could I? And awfully passing me the Dwayne Johnson. Where the bloody hell is he? He's not taking the Dwayne Johnson out, has he? The little shit. Where's the Dwayne Johnson's not in the garage? The little shit. But I know I've taken him out. Joyriding Dwayne Johnson.
Where's the keys to the Dwayne?
Yeah. Where's the keys to the Johnson?
Can we wrap the show up, please? I don't even care about the end of the story.
Hey, if you're going to take out the Dwayne Johnson, refill it. It was running on bloody empty this morning.